Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to be talking about blue light hotspots that are located in areas of war. So you can imagine my surprise when I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning and there was definitely this blue. I could just see this blue everywhere. And then I saw a map of the world. And then I saw blue light hotspots definitely in the areas of Ukraine, Russia conflict, also in the areas of Israel and Palestine, and Lebanon and Iran. And then I started seeing blue light around in many places in the world. And I thought, all right, so this is in the area where there are wars. I was not aware that there was so much going on in relationship to the wars. Now, if you will, have you been following for a while, when I talk about the blue light is, it's an elixir of photonic light. I think in the past we've really called it cosmic energy, but this is kind of more than just, I don't know, standard run-of-the-mill cosmic energy, because this has more of a celestial galactic feel to it. It's this sense that I have that it's coming from beyond the beyond, even, our own planetary area around Earth, our whole entire atmosphere. It's coming from who knows what other planets, but when the blue light beings came to visit, I've always known them to be more from the planet Sirius and from Orion's belt, and so in that area there. The one thing that's been consistent since 2017, since they started coming through, was that the blue light frequency helps with dissolving all illusions, dissolving all lies, illuminating truth, and in fact enhancing the purest truth that is possible. And then also allowing justice to be served. So wherever there's injustices in the world, it's about allowing justice to be served. Now, I've worked as a psychic healer. I am a retired registered nurse. I do teach intuitive psychic development. And when it comes to working with energy and working with frequencies, I've been able to really develop a high skill level at moving energy and shaping energy, working with my intention, like with quantum physics, where you have intentions and desires, and then that can move the energy in a certain direction. And as big things as, natural disasters like hurricanes and tornadoes or earthquakes, like sometimes, a large group of people can get together and say prayers to really help work with the hurricane. So like, for example, we had a large group that worked with Hurricane Milton, for example. It was coming in like a freight train at this level of a category 5, and they were trying to imagine, like, what in the world is going to happen to Florida if a category 5 hurricane hits Florida. And so for us, we got together, and whether it's real or not real, this group of us got together and we felt like we could make a difference. And so we just started meditating with it, and we just started working with the energy, and we just started praying and hoping that Hurricane Milton would, if it needed to come in for any reason, it would not come in at a category 5, and it didn't. So whether that was naturally going to happen that way or not, we felt like we made a difference. So when Russia invaded Ukraine, every part of me wanted to somehow participate in prayers or participate in healing. And I know that a lot of people in the world did. But what my spirit was telling me was that the energies at play here were so big that my spirit really encouraged me to hold back, to not participate because the energies were so big. Whatever was playing out in that arena between Ukraine and Russia. And then, of course, there's been other wars, Afghanistan and Iraq. and but each time I was told not to participate. It was the same with the different elections. I just wanted to, may the best man win or may the best woman win. So I wanted to also participate in maybe helping to soothe that process. And I was told in 2016 that there were a lot of energies at play. There were big energies at play. And basically, Nancy, you don't have permission to participate. And so I didn't. I didn't intervene. I didn't add prayers. I just accepted everything was unfolding as it should. So why do I share all of this? Because for me to wake up and to see all this blue and then to be shown a world map and see all the blue and all these areas of war, and now I'm being shown that it's now time for humanity to rise up. It's time for humanity to participate in a much bigger way with these areas of war to help participate in energetic ways that are already moving in that direction. So whatever's been going on, there seems to be this movement. Now, I'm just going to describe to you what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing, and then I want to share with you all that was going on as far as areas of war, because I didn't know this. So I thought that you might be interested, and besides the blue beings of light, want all of us to be interested. So I'm wearing my dragonfly pin, and the reason why I'm wearing my dragonfly pin is because there were dragonflies all over the world, and the dragonflies were really showing up in these areas of war where there is a lot of blue light. And so the dragonfly represents change and change in perspectives of self-realization, the kind of change that comes out of mental and emotional maturity, as well as understanding of the deeper meanings of life. So if you've been following me, if you haven't been following me, we've had these 3 waves of truth that have come through. So July, and then August, and then just recently, October 17th, was this enormous elixir of truth that was coming in. And I have a free blue light of truth meditation that you can download and listen to, because it was all about clearing lies out of your own energetic field. And you didn't have to be conscious for that to happen. The blue light was going to be helping with that. So all over the world with humanity, this blue light of truth is coming in. What is not in alignment with truth would be melting away. So when I saw this image and I said, finally, it's like finally there's this blue light that's assisting in these areas of war. Now, the blue light beings are not interfering. Let me just say that. If we think of these as galactic beings, beings from another world, or star beings from another dimension, they are not there interfering, but it looks like this blue light is really saturating those areas to help dissolve illusion, enhance truth, and to help justice rise to the surface, however that's going to unfold. The other thing that was quite interesting was that underneath the countries, it's almost like I can see these little spinning chakras. Now, there's definitely been larger chakras, but underneath there seems to be, like 12 bigger chakras under the country that are spinning. So there's this drawing up of this blue light energy up from the earth that's rising up through the earth and to these different countries. So let me just go over the different countries that are experiencing, I have this, armed conflicts. That's what they're calling them, armed conflicts. So at the top was the Middle East and North Africa. More than 45 countries are involved right now, as we speak, in armed conflicts. And they're calling these kind of non-international armed conflicts. But let's see, we have Cyprus, Egypt, Iraq, Israel, Libya, Morocco, Palestine, Syria, Turkey, Yemen, and Western Sahara. So they're currently going under different levels of armed conflict. Syria, in this kind of batch of areas of war, is the most affected country in the region. And it has several multiple overlapping kind of political things that are going on that have absolutely nothing to do with the other. So it's really, really struggling. And this is what the blue light beings were talking about. It's almost like if we could get this area calmed, then it will help calm others. Almost like the fire may have started there and then you get these little grass fires all over the place. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but that's what I heard. In Africa, there's more than 35 armed conflicts going on in Africa, in the continent of Africa right now. So Burkina Faso, which I did not know that they were experiencing areas of war, Cameroon, Central Africa, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Ethiopia, Mali, Mozambique. I did not know that about Mozambique. I did know about Nigeria. I didn't know about Senegal, Somalia, South Sudan, and Central Africa Republic is the one at the top of the list that is really enforcing a lot of conflict and a lot of violence. All right. And why do I mention these? Because I think it's important that we know what's going on. And then in Asia, you have India and Pakistan and China. So those are in Asia. And then let's see, Europe. So in Europe, there are 7 armed conflicts going on in Europe. And each of these places, the blue light is rising. And I will say the blue light seems to be coming up out of the ground. And in some of those areas, it's almost like if it was a mountain or if it was like lava that was pushing up through the Earth's crust, it would make these mountains. This is what it looks like in some of the areas. One in particular in Ukraine really has a lot of blue light coming up. In Russia, there's blue spots, hotspots that are coming to the surface. There's one large area, then there's 3 smaller areas where the blue light seems to be coming up. When I asked the blue beings of light, they were saying that those areas may not be in conflict of war, but they may have war supplies. So like tanks and guns and rockets and things like that. So in Europe, so of course, I said Ukraine, I said Russia, Georgia, Armenia. Yeah, I don't know. Moldova, South Ossetia. I haven't heard of that before. And then did I say Armenia? Yeah. Wow. Okay. So at this point in time, there's a lot of this blue light that's gathering. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. And you may want to choose one area or more than one area to keep an eye on. But here's the other thing. They were showing the blue light coming into any areas of violence. And so they were even showing pockets in the United States, pockets in other big cities elsewhere where they may be having a problem with guns and murder. And I asked the blue beings of light, so what are you going to be able to do in this? How are you doing this? And they showed me like having a metal gun and the barrel of the gun just kind of drooping like that, like it's softening the violence. So maybe it won't like literally soften a gun or a tank or a rocket, but they are showing me like it heating up so much with transformational blue light that the violence is starting to liquefy. That the violence that you can kind of think of as this really heavy metal is starting to really soften quite a bit. And so, am I saying that things are going to shift overnight? No. And also the blue light beings aren't there, but the blue light, as it dissolves illusion, enhances truth, and brings through justice, it, and remember the dragonfly is about maturity, emotional and mental maturity. And then what was the last thing about the dragonfly that I loved, where people begin to understand the deeper meaning of life? And in that way, I can truly understand that how that blue light is assisting with that. But it is coming to areas where there may be violence. Now, let's talk about things that might be a little more personal on the home front. So I'm very aware that there are those of you who maybe grew up in a violent household. Maybe you're still in a violent household. Maybe you have a boss at work that uses bullying, bossy, violent type energy to get you to do what they want. And so all of that's being softened. All of it's being softened. All of it's being reworked. All of it's being reformed. It's like energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just changes form. And this is what we can see happening right now. So if it gives you a little bit of hope, I know that it gave me a lot of hope. And I can find my voice. I don't know about you, but this voice in my head that says, I'm seeing it in the energy, but my mind goes, I hope it's really true. I really, really hope that it's really true, because it feels on the edge. And then we have Russia, North Korea is moving into Russia. So there's just a lot going on. I was kind of surprised they didn't bring up Nepal. I don't know if Nepal has things going on. Oh, the other one was the Latin America, Mexico and Colombia. And so those areas, the countries may not be fighting with each other, but they are fighting with the drug cartel. And so we're going to include all of these in our prayers. Now, when I asked what violence looks like in the human energy field, I was shown that it's like little black blisters. So it's like the energy is blistered from the pain of violence. And what Spirit was also showing me, and you may have kind of a hard time grasping this, and maybe I do too, but it's like the person who is inflicting the violence also has this black bubbly energy in their field where it's just liquefied hatred, liquefied violence. And so even though they may be interfering and hurting and harming someone else, they too carry that violence in their field. So as I just said that out loud, it's like, well, they probably came from a family that used violence and intimidation as a way to resolve conflict. So I'm excited because I know that this time that we're in, the way that the blue light's coming in, we have so much blue plasma that's coming in that has this higher level of nourishment to it, supportive nourishment and spiritual growth. We have all these blue light codes or light codes that are coming in that are really activating us in many ways so that we as well can understand the deeper meaning of life and our own lives. And then we're going to have another big move in the spring of 2025. So to see this is not surprising to me. I'd really like to know your opinion about how you feel about this areas of war and the blue light that's coming in. And have you felt violence accelerating, which I have felt that, or does it feel as if maybe the violence is starting to turn a corner? I would like to believe that. And knowing that we don't have the right answers, but I feel it's important that we just keep doing what we can with our prayers, our dreams, our desires, and then where you might be called to physically, humanly show up to make a difference, however that may be. But the blue beings of light, all the other spiritual beings want us to include all the other countries, not just the ones that show up on the nightly news. I wish I could reference where I got this information, but it was online and they're always updating this. And I just put in how many wars are going on in the world right now, and it popped right up to the top. And that might be something that you would like to track. And gosh, the most important part. They showed me that there are many of you in the world who are bursting into blue that are specifically being called to help with these areas of war. That some of you are really being awakened in that blue celestial light as being able to have an influence. So whether it's through prayer, whether it's through participating in world events that maybe you are a part of, but you will know why you're being called. So again, they were showing me not only in areas of violence, but that people, individuals are bursting into blue. So there seems to be this major movement of blue light in areas of war, and I could not be happier to see that. So thank you all for tuning in to this video. I know that it may sound really hopeful for some, and I know others, it's like, wow, are we ever going to get on the other side of it? But we'll just keep trying to keep that perspective, because to me, this is an indicator that violence is softening in the world. It's starting to soften, and it can't come fast enough, right? All right, take care, everyone, and I'll see you on the next blue light video.